welcome to Talking Down the Highway, a Beach Boys podcast presented by Strange Currencies Music. I'm Matt.
I'm Glenn.
And I'm Tim. I played a major role in the naming of the podcast.
Wow.
Yeah, whoa.
What kind of role?
Taking a lot
significant
of credit
role. R-O-L-L.
R-O-L.
Was it a
It
somersault?
was a crescent roll. What was it? Yeah, what is it? Croissant?
Was it a croissant?
Did you get it on the
somersault?
Champs-Élysées? By the Tour Eiffel? Wow.
Oh,
Good
man.
start.
I'm glad we all had some sort of a note written down on Mike Love's pronunciation of croissant.
I didn't need a note. I just remember thinking like, oh, he's really getting into the French words.
Yeah, we'll get there in time. But lots to unpack this week.
Yeah, what are we referencing here for context?
Well,
Where did this come
so
from?
this is on
this is
a Facebook
know,
post, but they
I didn't see
that.
I didn't
Yeah,
see the
yeah.
Facebook post. All I know is I get
sent
this.
you the pictures.
Well, you sent me the pictures at I don't know, 10 at midnight or something.
No. That
Siri
came.
didn't wake you up and say, Glenn.
That
in my
came
ear.
at a reasonable hour. That was
okay.
way earlier in the day. My thing doesn't tell me what time.
6:17 p.m.
Yeah, come on.
This is from...
all hours of the night, 6:17 p.m. on a Friday night. Come on, Matt. Don't you know Glenn's bedtime is at 4:30?
Okay.
They got to put him in the iron lung.
I just flipped through the photos and it had cropped out that they're screenshots of Facebook.
what?
Facebook.
These are actually posted on the official, quote-unquote, official
Beach
Beach
Boys.
Boys.
Yeah.
They've been doing this 3 facts thing
I was going to
lately.
say, yeah,
And
they've
I
done
haven't,
this for other members too.
and I haven't looked at any of them.
I think the owl one was really underwhelming.
Oh, okay. Well, I hadn't looked at any of them, and I saw 3 facts about Mike Love, and I see him playing a bass.
They're not facts. They're fun facts.
Oh, well,
Did
the thing,
you know these fun
well,
facts?
that's what it says
about
in the
Mike
heading in the post, but in the picture it says 3 facts about Mike Love, and here he is, looking like he's trying to figure out how a bass guitar works, and having no fucking clue. So, all right, first one,
Putting it in his mouth like a
was
saxophone.
here we go. Mike played a significant role, spelled R-O-L-L, in the Beach Boys' vocal arrangements, and is responsible for their doo-wop sound.
Yep.
Bullshit.
Wow.
Bullshit. Yeah.
Who's running this social media?
Mike Love. Yeah, bullshit. He has nothing to do with their vocal arrangements. That is all Brian Wilson.
Is that Bruce Wilson or Bruce
Who is
Johnston?
Bruce?
Is that Bruce Johnston that got cropped out of that photo?
You see the top of his
I don't
head,
think so.
and he was actually standing on the other side of the world. So yes, for perspective,
It kind of looks like Mickey Dolenz.
it kind of does actually. Yeah, it looks like an outtake from the album cover of Diez de Verano y también sus noches.
But Bruce wasn't there for that one.
He
or
wasn't.
at least not in
wasn't.
the pictures that were published.
Correct. Yeah.
Wait, are you saying that Mike is not responsible for the doo-wop song?
I am going on record and saying that he is
Wow.
not responsible for the vocal arrangements, that is Brian Wilson and Brian Wilson's fucking signature. So,
Wow, okay.
yeah. All right, next fun fact. In addition to his vocal abilities, that's questionable, Mike played saxophone during the band's early career and contributed the sax solo to Shut Down.
Sax solo.
Sax
That is true.
Solo. That is a fact.
If you define,
that is a fact.
If you define this as a solo.
Solo meaning one note per measure. Yeah.
So, wow, that is his big instrumental
Facts.
contribution to the Beach Boys. All right, good job. All right, fact number 3.
Song would have been nothing without that
Yeah,
sax
yeah,
solo.
absolutely. Fact number 3, Mike inspired Paul McCartney's lyrics to Back in the USSR while on a trip together in India.
That's what he likes to think.
There's a lot to unpack there. First off, a trip together implies that that Paul's
yeah.
like, hey, Mike Love, would you like to go with me to India? I'm not going with anybody else. I don't have any other friends who are going on this trip. Would you like to go with me, mate?
Yeah.
So first off, no, they were not on a trip together to India. The Beatles were there, and Mike Love just fucking gloms onto them like, oh, Mike Love, I'm a genius magnet. There are really intelligent musicians around, and I just gotta weasel my way into their orbit, like he did with his cousin. And now he's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go hang out with the Beatles and pretend I'm like one of them for a few weeks. They're making fun of you, Mike.
Yeah.
They are parroting you.
Yeah.
No,
Back
you
in
didn't
the USSR
inspire.
is a poking fun at.
Yes, and there's also like social political commentary in there, and it's like it's satire.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't get that? You didn't understand that? So, fun facts all.
Share this with someone who loves Mike Love.
Shares 0.
23 shares.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nobody loves Mike Love.
Wow.
We know that. Anyway, so
Wow.
that was fun.
That was an exciting week that we had here.
That's right. Whole week.
Yeah, it has been a week, and
Yeah.
I'm still feeling the effects of that old fashioned. Old fashioned from last week.
It's bitters, good. Yeah. Mole bitters.
Left the glass down here and everything.
That's good.
The ice cube still hasn't melted. It was so big.
I know, those big ice cubes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yep. All right. Well, hey, anything else for the good of the order before we take our much necessary break?
No.
I'm exhausted.
Wow. I was
gonna say, I think it's
after
nap
reading
time.
fun facts.
After reading fun facts with the Beach Boys.
I got a feeling we're gonna have a really energetic record.
We're going to have to dig up some
man.
more Beach Boys fun facts and dissect them.
Keep them coming.
Keep them coming,
Mike
Beach
Love
Boys.
is a pioneer in the rock and roll lawsuit.
In the social media game. Wow.
Mike Love has been bald since he was 6 years old.
Yeah.
Mike
He's a
Love
real-
would still be working at a gas station if not for his infinitely more talented cousin.
He's the representation of bald gas station attendants everywhere in the rock sphere.
Yeah.
Wow.
Someone to look up to.
Mike Love tried to recast the Beach Boys as Reagan bootlickers in the 1980s. or bootleggers. They're selling like cardboard cutouts of Ronald Reagan out there.
Moonshine.
Sorry. That was
Counterfeit
that
Reagan
moonshine
masks.
that we drank last week. It's still,
that's
affecting
right.
me there.
Yeah.
Bootlicker. All right. We'll be back to talk more about Mike Love here and his brilliance.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
All right. We're back. This week we're talking about M.I.U. album.
M.I.U.
What the hell is that?
Yeah. Somebody explain this to me. M.I.U. album. M.I.U.
Mission
album.
Impossible
University. Mid-industrial unanimity.
So it stands for
Mildly interesting.
Oh, yeah. But unlistenable.
Mildly interesting.
Mild
unlistenable. Unlistenable.
Hey. One of my notes here. All right, are you guys ready for this? And I know this is gonna set Glenn off. One of my notes says, "Holy shit! I think I kind of like this album." Question mark.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway,
Wow.
that's a thing.
Wow.
That's a thing.
Well, that explains our barometer for our scoring of recent.
Well, you all just all right. You have not yet listened to
Right.
anything
Yeah,
post M.I.U. album.
Right.
I know you obviously heard Kokomo as kids, but
Right.
you have not listened to any of it. And let me just tell you,
I mean,
it's a love thing. Like that. That's gonna
You're
be
talking,
something.
Hey, fun fact: Dennis's nickname as a kid was Dennis the Menace.
Oh. Wow, so original. You're
they
talking
come up
about
with
the Ratitude effect over there, Matt.
Yes and no. So, and we'll talk about this a little bit more as we get into it. Let's talk some context. I looked nothing up. I was otherwise occupied. I've spent most of the week listening to broadcast. I don't know if either of you know them.
No.
Really, really, really good English band. They just put out a demo compilation of stuff from Trish Keenan mostly. She was the main figure in the group. She passed away years and years ago, but they released a demos thing that is like really, really intriguing to me because it's like, what if Guided by Voices were more 60s obsessed and were fronted by a woman and had like folkier elements? Because like they're usually like very stereo labby, electronic-y kind of sounding and everything, but these demos are really, really just lo-fi, acoustic-y broadcast, Glenn. You're allowed to ask out loud.
I was gonna say who, because I was busy reading these facts about Carl Wilson.
Yeah. So anyway, I spent much of my week listening to good music.
Oh, wow.
And so I didn't spend a whole lot
Your
of time.
calibration
You
was
didn't
off.
read it. You didn't read up about this one.
I know there was like some
mean,
sort of Maharishi.
it's-
I know that one of the M's is Maharishi.
It stands for Maharishi International
I
University.
guess there's really only one M. International University.
no. There's an M.
Is this like Trump University?
There's an M in album. So this album is fucking cursed. Like
It's pretty cursed, yeah.
yeah. Maharishi International University in like Ohio, I think it was a real place where you go there and you learn. The wiki says that Mike was studying levitation, but I don't think it means literally. Maybe it does. There's all this crazy shit when you click through and it talks about
his hair apparently levitated and left his head.
That's right.
Yeah.
Transcendental meditation, which that I guess has actual value, but then there's like this other stuff that Maharishi himself was trying to do that was really kind of wacky. I don't know. Anyway, they go there to record the album. It's just Al and Mike and Brian. Brian is basically being held captive. What? He's in hell. He hates this whole thing that he has to be there. Basically, what I got from it was Mike and Al, hearing adult child and being like, holy shit, we got to step in and just drag this guy away. They literally, it says that they were specifically trying to keep him away from like drug dealers and stuff.
They didn't have a drug dealer keep her away?
I don't know.
Where was Lionel Hutz? Jesus. Come on, guys. I could have told you that.
Like the whole thing was under duress. And, really under Mike's supervision.
Oh.
This is a Mike and Al album.
Hey, it sounds like it's time for an episode of Heroes and Villains.
Yeah.
All right, Heroes and Villains. We're discussing heroes and the villains, whatever it is we happen to be talking about this week. And this week we're talking about M.I.U. What?
Maharishi International University.
Oh, yeah. Because we all know
The
that Ohio is like the epicenter of Eastern religious thought. Okay, anyway.
Yeah.
Hero.
Well, I think the hero might be Dennis for staying the fuck away.
Yeah.
He's got credits on the album. So.
Dennis and Carl
one.
only were
He
minimally
drums on
involved.
4 songs, and he sings lead vocals on 1.
Oh, okay, drums.
And backing vocals
but
on
no,
others.
no writing credits and just one lead vocal credit. So I guess he did a little bit.
He was really, really busy creating what Glenn believes is the greatest masterpiece since, ever.
Hey, so again, Dennis was like, during this is when all of the Pacific
Iowa.
Ocean Blues and Bamboo, all those Dennis.
He had a son on the way
mind.
by the name of Bamboo.
I'm trying to keep my composure. But this is definitely an Al and Mike album. Al produced it. I think he has a producer credit on it. Right?
Actually, according to the sleeve, some guy named Alan produced it. I think it might have been Alan Parsons.
Yeah. No, it's an Al production. First of all, I want to say Fairfield, Iowa, not Ohio, is where the university, quote unquote, university is.
Come on, Tim.
They're the same state to me. I don't
Get your
fucking know.
shit together. Now, Iowa's a different story. There is really a big transcendental meditation following in Iowa.
Sure.
Yeah. It's all the corn.
Obviously. Oh, the corn.
Yeah, it's peaceful.
So this, as far as the other...
Have you ever sat in the middle of a cornfield and just heard it swaying in the breeze?
Well, of course.
Yeah, and that is...
What do you think?
Okay.
Who do you think I am?
That's how you levitate, actually.
So here, Dennis is already kind of...
He's promoting his album.
He's promoting his album. He's kind of got his mind elsewhere. They're still contractually obligated to deliver one more album to Warner. To
Reprise.
Yeah.
Reprise.
Hold on, we're still in Heroes and Villains.
Oh, we are?
Yes.
Shit.
Well, I mean...
Well, Mike's the villain. And Al.
Mike's the
Hero,
villain, of
though.
course.
We gotta do this the right way. Hero.
Dennis for staying away. And Carl for staying away.
Brian, when he's being held captive.
Yeah. He did write pretty much all the songs.
Yeah, and some of them are pretty.
You know who might be the hero actually is surprisingly Stephen Love. There's a little anecdote in here about how he was Brian's bodyguard at the time. He's one of Mike's brothers, but does not seem very Team Mike. Or wait, not Stephen, sorry, Stan Love, the basketball player.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't seem very Team Mike all the
that's
time.
good.
He talks about how Brian was kind of in hell and like Mike was doing his arrogant thing or whatever. So yeah, Stan Love, hero.
For looking out for Brian?
Yeah,
Okay.
I guess. I don't know. He didn't do anything about it.
The hero is Dennis Wilson for this quote. In a 1979 interview, Dennis Wilson said, quote, "I hope that karma will fuck up Mike Love's meditation forever.
Ooh,
this album is an embarrassment to my life. It should self-destruct."
That was Dennis, right? You said?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dennis.
That's all right.
That's right. That is a good
Yeah,
quote.
see?
Okay.
That's the
pretty great.
embarrassment to his life, and not like
Hey,
fucking palling around with Charles Manson and beating women.
Here, let's get out of this episode of Heroes and Villains because I want to talk more context.
Villain. The Maharishi is kind of. A villain.
yeah.
But Mike Love, because
Sure.
of course he is. All right. Good episode.
All right, so the Beach Boys owe one more album to the label, and Brian puts together Adult Child, which is
great,
it's
fun,
great.
whatever.
It's
Put it
like
out.
wild, and why not?
Yeah.
But Al and Mike like squash it and say absolutely not.
Mike was out of town on some meditation retreat, and he gets back and sees Adult Child. He's like, "What the fuck?
What is this?"
Yeah.
And they have to do something, but they've essentially broken up.
There's like a moment at an airport where they have like a fight, and Dennis even says to a reporter who's there witnessing it that the band just broke up. And Mike is denying it at some point, and Dennis is like, "No, we're done. You just witnessed it."
Right.
I mean, that's the level they're at. Whether or not they're technically broken up, they're like, this is when they're traveling in separate planes and just like they factioned off.
They factioned off. They're certainly divided.
Yeah.
But they still have this contractual obligation, and that's what this album is. I still don't see why Mike and Al didn't just cave and let them submit Adult Child. Like, why didn't they just say, "Fine, whatever, take this"? If they really are.
Well, Mike seems to have this weird mental block where he thinks, well, if we put out something like that, it's going to sell poorly. Let's put out something like this, and then it sells
really
poorly.
tearing shit up.
You
Yeah,
know,
I mean,
this got to like 151 or something like that. It's like, again, probably one of their most low charting
It's
ones.
not good. It's not good. And there's no heart. That's the other spoiler alert. This album is Al and Mike trying to cobble something together because they don't trust Brian, or they think what Brian has to offer is he's incapable, and so they think that they can do better. And what was the anecdote about the vote? They had to vote.
So it's Mike and Al on one side, Dennis and Carl on the other, with Brian neutral in the middle. But at some point, I forget what the reasoning is, Mike and Al get the power over Brian's vote. Like they get his vote, so they can overrule the other two.
So like they go to the lawyer. They go to lawyers, and they somehow convince them that Brian's incompetent, and so that Mike gets an extra vote because Mike is the Beach Boys. Because Mike had a significant role in the doo-wop sound.
yeah.
And so therefore Mike gets the tiebreaker vote. And this is the album we get. M.I.U.
Yeah. So they go to Iowa.
Just to let you know, Glenn, you are never getting that box set of Adult Child with all this baggage. You know, like I was thinking, so there's some overlap of some of the songs, and maybe it'd come out as part of an M.I.U. I don't see that happening. There's just too much contention there. I don't think Mike's gonna let it go.
I don't think so either. So according to this,
I hope I'm wrong about that.
Wiki, Carl visited M.I.U. twice, and Dennis, who was busy promoting Pacific Ocean Blue, this says he played drums on an early session for She's Got Rhythm. So I don't know about those about the personnel notes, if those are all like 100% or whatever. So yeah, Carl and Dennis are barely involved. I want to read that Stan Love quote. So it was produced by Alan, and Ron Altbach. Let's see. Brian's bodyguard Stan Love described the overall proceedings as, quote, torture, agony, like being put right in the middle of nowhere, frozen and cold and small, with only one decent restaurant in town. So that's about the town.
Was it Denny's?
Probably.
Nice.
Denny Wilson. And then goes on to say, Brian was putting in his time, but he wasn't too happy. He was depressed and on medication. We passed the time playing ping-pong. And Stan added that Wilson did not want to produce his bandmates because he resented them personally. In particular, quote, Brian didn't want to write with Mike anymore, but of course Mike tried to hang on doing his arrogant pressure trip on him.
Whoa!
Yeah,
this is Mike's own brother.
Yeah.
Stan. Wow.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh,
I gotta say,
about right.
Playing ping pong and eating at Denny's doesn't sound that bad to me, but whatever.
In 1995, Brian said that he couldn't even remember making the album because he had a mental blank out. Because he was in such horrible state. He's credited as an executive producer because he, I guess, didn't really do the production.
Right.
But they still want. Carlin apparently says it was probably for contractual reasons they got that credit.
Yeah, they needed because Brian had to be involved in something if it was gonna even have a hope.
And there was some confusing thing. I don't want to get too into where they were also trying to sign with CBS, and then I don't know. As far as the record deal goes, and they didn't want Adult Child either or something like that. I don't know. There's some overlap with the labels.
Point being, this is not about the art, the music. This is the business. This album is all contracts and record labels and Mike Love and power and trying to get dollars. That's what
the
this album
lead
is.
single was a cover of Peggy Sue.
We'll get into it.
Yeah, it's just such dumb, low effort stuff. There's one decent song on here, I think.
Well, and let's talk about them. Is there any other context we need to discuss?
No, just critical reception, which is pretty bad.
We'll talk about that when we wrap up the second side. Yeah. Well, let's take a break and we'll come back and talk about the A side, as they say in the industry.
All right, it's time to look track by track.
Real briefly, I want to say that when I was doing some listening today, I listened to this first, and then Pacific Ocean Blue, and man, compared to this, Pacific Ocean Blue is like a masterpiece. In the immediate immediate afterglow of this album, it's like, okay,
you just don't get this.
We open up track
You're not
one.
part of the glitterati glissando, okay?
All right, track one.
All right, track one. She's got rhythm.
My note is not terrible, but silly and cheesy production.
Yes, it's snappy.
It's a little snappy.
Brian's in good voice here. He's kicking up that falsetto for the first time in a while.
Blinking in Morse code to help me get me out of here.
Rhythm. Yeah, I like it. It's catchy. Come on.
It is catchy.
It's super endearing. It's goofy as all fuck, but it's endearing.
It's goofy.
I like it. I am on record. I fucking like it.
I mean,
3.5 out of 5.
As far as how shitty most of this is, I guess it's a highlight.
Yeah.
It's still the worst song on Pacific Ocean Blue.
Okay, let's move on from Pacific Ocean.
All right, come go with me.
Yeah, it's a cover.
Del Vikings.
Pointless. Any of these fucking old,
Whoa! Hey, hold on.
My note is nobody cares, Al.
I kind of don't, but I think the vocals on this one are pretty good. I like it
fine,
actually.
But it's like, again, what's the point?
I know it's 1978.
Yeah,
you don't need to be covering the Del Vikings in 1978, but it's a decent take.
You know what
I like it.
What I always associate with the song title "Come Go With Me" is Janet Jackson's "Escapade."
Oh, okay.
Because it's in that "Come Go With Me, we got it made." Ooh. Anyway.
You know what I like about this song? Mm. It's 2 minutes long.
Yeah.
That's it. Short, fine. On to the next one.
I mean, it's obviously a good song, but like,
Well, yeah. I mean,
nobody cares, Al.
yeah. I mean, it's fun. I
So,
like it. I like
track 3,
it. Oh God, no.
Cursed.
Yeah.
Hey, Little Tomboy. We talked about this for Adult Child because it's on there.
Yeah. It's still irredeemable.
Somehow,
Reprehensible.
yeah, somehow the Adult Child version is even worse because, I mean, at least the version I heard has like all this creepy like dialogue during the breakdown part. It's way even worse than the lyrics of the song. Yeah. I also have in my note, unfortunately, pretty catchy.
Well, yeah, in the catalog crawl, it's either the catalog crawl or the Rate Your Music thing that I wrote for it. I said, like, I hate that song so much.
Yeah.
But part of that hatred is because it is really fucking catchy.
I know, and it kind of
I get that song stuck in my head all the time.
Yeah.
We need to come up with alternative lyrics for it.
Yeah, I'm conflicted on this one too.
Well, there shouldn't be conflict. I mean, the lyrics are so
yeah.
bad that it makes it completely irredeemable. But it is an earworm, and
right.
I mean, it's fucking terrible. Yeah. It's so terrible.
Really like pizza or something like that. I don't know what the lyrics could be.
I don't know.
Maybe about surfing.
Donuts.
Surfing and surfing and surfing and surfing.
In Oxford, commas. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, okay. We fixed it. Next track. Kona Coast. Blatant ripoff.
Smacks of Mike Love.
Blatant ripoff of Hawaii. They even have that in the chorus. Hawaii, go to Hawaii. Yeah.
Because part of Mike Love's formula, when in doubt, call back to how good times, how great we are. Remember? Yeah, we wrote that.
Yeah, it's an homage. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then cover of Peggy Sue.
Yeah, now this cover sucks.
I have Shut Up Al written in it.
Yeah. The Come Go With Me one is good. Like I don't know that I'd say they nail it, but it's good. This cover fucking sucks.
I mean, they sound the same to me. I don't know.
I mean, one is supposed to be sung by a vocal group with good harmonies.
Right, yeah.
The other one is
it's like
lower level Buddy Holly single.
It's like a cardboard box for drums.
Yeah, well, which is what the original. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The original.
Yeah.
It's like
this
it's
one's
such a
just
sparse. It doesn't really make sense.
It works because of its weird energy of the late 50s kind of a thing. Although
exactly.
Buddy Holly did much better, but here it's just like, come on, really?
Yeah.
20 years later, right?
Something like that.
And then the last track.
Won't you come out tonight?
Won't you?
Won't you?
I don't even remember it, but I did give it a 3.
There's no comma in there.
I have Song Is Fine, I guess.
Song is fine, I guess.
There's reference to Little Girl, which is unfortunate considering the Tomboy song. It's like, Little Girl, won't you come out tonight? Which is creepy. I don't know. I don't remember it either, but apparently I liked it okay.
Yeah. I mean, all right. So you got 6 songs on this side. 3 of them are decent, I'm going to say. One of them is absolutely fucking terrible.
A stretch.
Is that one of the ones you're calling decent, though?
3 are decent?
Yeah, She's Got Rhythm, Come Go With Me, and Won't You Come Out Tonight.
Oh, okay.
Those are all decent. Like you can completely say that Come Go With Me is so totally unnecessary, but it doesn't change the fact that it is a competent cover of a good song.
I mean, so here's the thing, though. Going way back, there was a cover. Oh, fuck, was it?
Just give me some of that rock and roll. No. Remember that one? Like that one's fucking awful.
I'm gonna have
like, and
to
that's kind of on the Peggy Sue level. Like Peggy Sue's like almost that bad, I guess is what I'm getting at. But Come Go With Me. It's good. It's charming. It's catchy. It's come on.
It's like when at this point in their output, whenever that happens, they have like some not low effort, but like, I like this song when I was a kid or whatever. I just tune out and I skip it. Basically, so I don't even know. Hold on, I'm gonna find out what I'm talking about.
We had decent enough things to say about like In the Still of the Night and Blueberry Hill and like some of those ones on 15 Big Ones. We said no, they're not big ones, but they're competent covers of good songs. That work well enough for the Beach Boys sound. Whereas again, rock and roll music, Peggy Sue, those are not. the energy that made the originals of those songs good are not the kind of thing that the Beach Boys are bringing to the table in the late 70s.
Why Do Fools Fall in Love? That's one that I said was a very competent cover.
See, I've never really liked that original anyway. But
Okay, well, see, there you go.
it's fine.
I don't know. I'm just saying it's, at best it's that. But yeah, whatever. That's my rating.
We've spent way too much time talking about how
way too much.
if come go, but we're only still at 31 minutes so far.
Also, come on.
It's confusing, but that's again, take that up with Adele Vikings.
4 words and it's just so confusing. 4 words. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
That's enough.
Okay, well, we'll take a quick break and we're gonna come back. Actually, let's take a long break and we'll be back.
Yeah. We're back. I guess we're talking about...
Hey, it sounds like it's time for an episode of Sound Vision.
Wait a minute.
That's right, it's time for Sound and Vision, where we discuss all things aesthetic using the scale provided to us by David Bowie. Glenn, if we really like something, we call it
It's low.
That's right, David Bowie's masterpiece. Tim, if we don't like something, we call it
I think we call it M.I.U. album. We call it Never Let Me Down.
Yes, in which David Bowie definitely. David.
You son of a bitch.
Jeez, David. Yeah. Anyway, and then this come from Middle Ground. If we're all right with it, we're like, it's all right. Let's dance. David Bowie's okayest album. Tim was really taken aback when I cut in for the Sound of Vision that like the monocle popped out of his eye.
That's right.
Like, oh,
fell right into my
into his brandy.
Yeah, my brandy.
Yes,
there you go.
Yes. All right, we're talking about whatever the fuck this image is.
Yeah. I was trying to figure out what exactly is being shown on the cover there, and I don't know.
It's
just
an
like
ocean,
black void,
sunset, cave thing.
Yeah. Maybe it's the soul.
Ooh. It's the dark recesses of Mike Love's soul. Yeah, we all know that's true. Mike Love doesn't have a soul.
Right.
Prove us wrong, Mike. Prove us wrong. Yeah, I don't like the font.
I don't like anything about it, really.
It's awful.
On the back cover,
yeah,
you got some shirtless action again.
Oof, love it.
Triple shirtless action.
Oh my God.
In the back row, shirtless, you got Al Jardine standing up and only barely taller than Brian and Mike, who are also shirtless.
What?
Mike is really giving this. He's looking like he's thinking about sticking his tongue in Brian's ear or something. But Brian seems happy. Seems healthy. I don't know. Probably not.
This album, the album cover is just poorly designed. Like, why would you don't put circles. Don't put a photo in a circle.
Well, you looking at the back, though? They got a photo in a circle back there, too.
No, exactly. Don't do that. And what even...
Some nice foliage behind them.
Why the cream on white? It doesn't do anything for it.
Oh, there's the back. I was trying to find the back cover. I finally got it.
I've already moved on to the back. Glenn's still over there talking about God knows what.
The ribbon, the band thing around Mike's hat looks like a Kind Bar wrapper.
Huh, okay.
Dennis looks upset that he's wearing a shirt.
It does look
like
a Kind Bar.
He kind of does want to just rip that thing off and shove it down Mike Love's throat. We'll just say that. That's nicer than what I was going to say.
Or, he's probably upset because there's really no evidence that Mike is wearing pants.
Oh, that is true. I think he's also in deep thought thinking about how he's going to pull off a hat flip on Mike Love while Mike Love is behind him. Yeah. semi-defensive posturing. Carl, though, I mean, good Carl. He's fucking boss. He's, he's a champ.
I feel like it looks like Brian. The look on Brian's face is like somebody has a gun into his rib, like
Actually,
somebody's like, answer the door, tell him no one's here.
What I think it is, so you see like palm trees or something, like some kind of like tropical looking plants in the background. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think Brian is actually happy to be awake, to not be in Iowa anymore.
They have palm trees in Iowa.
Really? In the middle of the cornfield? Is that where you find them? You got to go all the way in?
No, they're at the edges of the cornfield because you don't want to mess up. They require different amounts of water. And yeah, come on, Glenn.
Is that photo?
Don't you know anything about?
Wait, who are you talking to?
Yeah, Glenn.
Sorry.
Who are you talking to?
Well, I'm sure you don't know anything about botany either.
I don't.
Tim.
Hey, that photo.
I've now done this a few times because you opened up an episode a while back by claiming to be called Glenn.
That's
and now
true.
I'm just keeping that as canon, I guess.
That photo on the cover, is that supposed to be Iowa? Yeah. Isn't it like? Is that a beach photo?
Yeah. There's beaches in Iowa.
Okay.
Man, we really don't know anything about Iowa. We should do a special Iowa episode.
Maybe
get all our facts
maybe
straight.
we need to go and investigate.
All right, well,
this magical place called Iowa.
Never let me down. Never let me down.
Yeah.
Never let me down.
Never let me down.
Never let me down. Don't you dare. Don't you.
It's a fucking low. No, like, all right, no. I mean, I understand the impulse behind Never Let Me Down, but to me it's just so like, that to me, like, that's almost sort of the definition of a Let's Dance. It's like,
see, for me, I don't know. For me,
that this thing exists.
For me, Let's Dance is like, it's not bad, but it doesn't rise to the level of a low. And meh is more of a low to me. And this is meh leaning toward like.
Wait, you said meh is more of a low?
Sorry, fuck. This scale is just all backwards.
It's all that mezcal we drank last week.
Meh is Never Let Me Down. So like if it stirs nothing in me or stirs negativity, then it's a Never Let Me Down. If it's kind of okay but not quite there yet, it's a Let's Dance. Then if it's obviously good, it's a low. So I don't know.
Yeah. It's tough to say, really. I mean, it's. I'm finding it to be rather subjective. Apparently.
No. It Never Let Me Down. This album is an embarrassment. It should self-destruct.
Stop it. Stop carrying Dennis's baggage.
I hope that karma fucks you up, Matt, for this. That's
what the hell.
All right, let's move on.
Yeah, that was a terrible episode.
We're fractured here. We're going to take separate planes home.
Exactly. We're going to record our next episode
broken up
in multiple studios.
Yeah, on Zoom.
Multiple important underwears.
What?
Will be worn.
Oh, there you go. That's M.I.U. See?
All right.
Good stuff.
Flip side, as they say in the industry.
Yeah, that episode is over, I guess. I just dropped the phone.
Side of the
okay, side 2, side B. First track is Sweet Sunday Kinda Love. I kind of like it. It's fine. It's a really good Carl vocal I have in my notes.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
This is one of the ones that was that the one person on the internet had put on their adult child compilation.
Yeah. Well, I remember you mentioned it when we.
And I went back to listen to the SoundCloud, and he had either slowed this one down or it was an alternate take. I think he slowed it down because he did talk about doing some tempo changes and pitch correction because it sounded like the exact same vocal track, but obviously it would be in a different key, I guess. Or no, it's probably the same key, but just literally slower. So I don't know how he did that. But I kind of like the slower version, actually. But yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, now the next track is maybe the best song on the whole album. It's called "Bells of Paris," not bells, bells meaning women. Belles. Yeah, it's annoying. So there is a background vocal of.
Wasn't this supposed to be a Christmas song? Wasn't this?
Well, this is probably one of the ones that they altered for the Christmas thing that they did. I don't even know what that is. Many of these songs ended up on a Christmas album or project or something like that they put out later.
This was supposed to be Bells of Christmas, and it became Bells of Paris.
So the backup vocal is just bells are ringing.
Well, no, that doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't, but I'm sure bells is spelled differently there. I just want to say, like, doesn't that remind you of The Residents? Just like creepy weirdos in the background, like sounding like robots.
Maybe. I hear that Mike Love attempt to speak in French, and it's
This is kind of like California Girls or Surfing USA, where it's just like basically a list of places and things in Paris, and he uses the French pronunciation of all of them, which is, Champs-Élysées, you can't really say that any other way. But what was the one that we were talking about before?
croissant.
He says croissant, which is, and that's kind of okay too. But then he says, he calls the Eiffel Tower La Tour Eiffel or whatever, and it's just, he's trying to sound real cool and real worldly.
It's like when you go out to like Mexican restaurant with some white dude and he's like, "I'll order the enchiladas."
Yeah.
Would you like some guacamole?
Or like
I'll take a quesadilla.
I'm thinking of taking a trip to Nicaragua.
Nicaragua.
Yeah, no, I shouldn't even say the G. Nicaragua. Yeah, so it's like, okay, man, you've been to Paris. You're pretty cool.
All right. Well,
Yeah, no good.
That song sucks.
Whatever.
Pitter patter.
Pitter Patter I thought was pretty catchy.
Yeah, it's charming Brian goofiness, you know? Like,
Yeah, I don't mind it.
Okay, it's
It's about the rain.
it is kind of a Brian Wilson-y, silliness. But again, like, context. The dude's in a horror situation here.
Horror situation?
He's in a whorehouse.
He's like, he's...
They have a whorehouse at M.I.U.?
It's dark. I'm just
That's
saying...
why it's so
Well,
popular.
yeah, I mean, if you're at the whore, I mean...
I'm just saying that this is Brian under duress.
Probably.
Probably. I like I said, I
don't
listened
know.
to this
He
one
sounds-
completely devoid of context. Just
Right,
because
right.
the more and more I keep learning about these guys at this point of their career, the less and less I like any of them. And so it's just kind of like, I'm going to listen to this as just 12 songs. And some of them I hate, and some of them I'm pretty okay with.
I mean, and this was, for this album specifically, it may have been a good strategy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just
Yeah.
like-
Now that you had to, like, ruin it for me. It's like,
It's just so, there's bad stuff. Okay, next one's My Diane.
See, I like My Diane.
Well, yeah,
fucking great.
My
song.
Diane is good.
It's an excellent
This
song.
is the one that Dennis sings lead.
No, it's a great lead, though. It's one of his best.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is.
God, Glenn, you're acting like I instinctively like am gonna shit on everything Dennis has ever done. I just think you really, really overrate Pacific Ocean
maybe-
Blue. But
maybe.
My Diane, it's great. It's a Brian song.
Yeah.
It's,
it is.
I did
and
a-
I was corrected by one of our readers in the original write up of the catalog crawl. I had said, one of Dennis's better songs, and it is.
okay.
I was corrected. It is.
Oh,
a,
yeah.
It's Mike. It's a Brian
It is a Brian
song,
song.
but it's a really, really good,
It's a good
Dennis
Dennis vocal.
soulful Dennis.
I did
performance.
a little bit of reading about
Yeah,
the Brian Marilyn Diane sort of triumvirate. So he and Marilyn split in '78, I believe. Which is that when this came out? I think this is.
Yeah.
This song is about his affair with his wife's sister, Diane Rovell. Apparently, at some point in Brian and Marilyn's marriage, the way it was written is he encouraged her to have extramarital affairs.
Correct. Yeah.
And that way he could go have extramarital affairs. I really don't know how that went for Marilyn. But yeah, just a weird fucking situation. Like I'm gonna go canoodle with your sister, honey.
Yeah.
But this is about how sad he was when that ended.
Yeah. Yep.
But it's great though.
It is. It's like a really good song. But yeah, are you just learning all of this?
You're getting You're getting French over there.
Yeah.
I didn't know this.
Yeah. Like,
I don't want to know this.
hey, at least by this time, Marilyn was probably an adult, so
just
that's something, I guess. Yeah. No, I mean, again, the more digging you do on any of these guys, even our below, and again, I think I can't remember if that was the last episode of this one, but we use the excuse of Brian. Well, he's Brian. He's special. Which is true, but he's also fucking, he's an adult here. He's
He's an adult
have
child.
some degree of responsibility for actions and stuff. I
Right.
mean, but at least he doesn't eat dog food like Mike Love does.
That's true.
Yeah.
Do you think
God,
he,
you
do
know
you think
what, though?
he eats the wet stuff too, or just the kibble?
Who?
Mike Love, yeah.
Well, we've had this conversation.
Have we?
Yeah, when he's fancy, he'll eat the wet stuff.
Okay.
And remember when they were struggling to sell albums, he had to go back to the kibble.
Okay.
Which was part of where the resentment really kicked in.
I don't know why it just now it struck me how, watching him, I imagine not using any utensils or his hand, just like dunking his face into a pile of wet dog food.
Yeah.
Because he's just so hungry. He loves it so much.
He uses a fork and knife.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah. He's sophisticated.
Fancy.
Prove us wrong, Mike. Prove us wrong.
Wait, so now is Match Point of Our Love...
Oh, God, I have such a weird relationship with this song.
That's the next track.
Is that now about Marilyn? Or is it about
I don't know.
Diane?
No, it's a song about fucking tennis. It's so yacht
This is another.
rocky.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's yacht rock. It's very 70s. This one was also for some reason on the adult child compilation by that one guy. I kind of like it for the novelty factor, just because it is so like.
How often do you get a song about tennis?
It's like Leisure Suit.
Yeah. It's heavy-handed metaphor.
Like, content aside,
yachty,
yeah.
and just stupid as fuck, and I hate it. 3 out of 5.
Yeah, it's
Because it is still it's still catchy, and Brian does a decent lead vocal on it.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever.
It's very, like a lot of times his songs they feel like they're out of time. They're not in context with what's going on in the musical scene around him.
No. This is 1978.
And this is just like exactly the kind of stuff that you would expect from, whoever at that time. So, yeah.
Seals and Crofts.
Right.
Yeah. But, not exactly on the vanguard.
Yeah.
This is, we're into post-punk now.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, last track on side 2, Winds of Change.
I was hoping this was going to be a cover of that Scorpions song.
I know.
Yeah. They're talking about Gorky Park.
Did you listen to that podcast? There's like a whole podcast about that Scorpion song.
Really?
About how
This is the only podcast, period,
that you've ever.
No.
There's a podcast out there. I think it might be the only other one about just like the fall of communism and like the role that song played in spreading.
It is the one with
like you've talked about that before.
It is the one with the whistling, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been 30 years probably since I've heard that song, but
I'm not a very good whistler. Anyway, the Scorpion song is a good song. It's a good way to close out this Beach Boys album. But this song, my note just says it's kind of good, but pretty corny.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Whatever.
It's kind of
I guess we rate it now.
I guess we do. So, I mean, as you guys know, I've already committed to ratings on. Oh, you were going to talk about sales and reception, right? So,
it didn't sell well. I don't know. Well, so I don't want to like go through the whole thing, but the critical reception section of this Wikipedia is just, it says it was met with confusion from critics and fans. And it's considered to be one of their worst albums. And I don't disagree. I like Matt said, I have not heard necessarily very much beyond this, so I'm sure it gets way worse. But I don't know. It just makes me really curious how the public would have reacted to Adult Child, because as kind of out there as that was at times, like at least it's not embarrassing. At least they're not. Well, wait, they are singing about tomboys.
Yeah, I was going to say, hey, Little Tomboy is almost enough to derail the whole thing.
Yeah.
But so I'm curious, actually, putting you both on the spot here. How would you compare this one to 15 Big Ones? Like, which of these albums would you actually say is better?
I don't even remember 15 Big Ones. Let's see.
I think they're similar.
What we got? Rock and roll music. It's okay. I had a fun. You. I like those. Everyone's in love with you. I think I like that. I do like the same song. NTM song. I think I liked. I think I like Big Ones better. And it does have that couple good covers.
When I think of low point Beach Boys albums. When I go through the Beach Boys section at a record store, and I was like, these are the good ones, these are the not good ones. 15 Big Ones and M.I.U. are the ones that I kind of look to as the bad ones. And that's kind of the general impression. But going back and listening to this, there's a lot of catchy stuff on this album that is like, Matt alluded to this. I think we even mentioned this. I was like, this album isn't quite as bad as in the back of my mind, I think it is. Like, I always kind of think it's painful, awful. It didn't hurt me to listen to this album.
Yeah, yeah.
It wasn't like, I mean, yeah.
Well,
it wasn't quite as bad as I remember.
Taking it out of the context, the horrible context of the background, then yeah.
So, like, Rate Your Music, which we use kind of just as a discussion starter for a lot of stuff, it has 15 Big Ones at 2.28 and M.I.U. at 2.39. And I agree with that. For our catalog crawl, actually, we placed them close to each other. I'm trying to pull that up here. Internet down here in the studio kind of sucks. 30 albums. We had 15 Big Ones at 25, and M.I.U. came in at number 23. So, like, similar, but to me, there's almost this kind of weird, like, oh, they were kind of, I don't know, they weren't on an upward trajectory by any means. Like, we all like love You quite a bit. So this is the official follow up to Love You. But I don't know, like I would be inclined to take this one above 15 Big Ones. Just for comparison of...
I think I might, depending on the day.
Yeah. I feel like the...
Because one of those two is the worst studio album that we've talked about so far, right? Like...
Yeah. Yep.
I feel like the songs that I like on Big Ones, I like more than the songs that I like on this one. But
Diane, though.
I didn't really spend a lot of time listening to this one, so...
Yeah. I think I'll agree with Rate Your Music on that one. That I think this one's a little bit better. I still want to put it at like Wilson Phillips. Like, it's still kind of in that 2 range. It's like meh. So that's where I am. I'm giving it a Wilson Phillips. Figuring that one of y'all will give it a David Marks, and it'll.
So
I don't remember what I gave Big Ones.
Again, we need to get on the Wikipedias, and we need to like log our official.
Yeah.
Is there a Wikipedia page for Talking Down the Beach Boys?
Well,
Talking
down the Beach Boys.
Talking down.
It's not worth it.
Don't do it.
You have too much to live for.
Talk 'em down.
Not you, Mike.
That's right.
You can jump. Oh.
Let's see here. So here's the thing. The score that we gave it for the catalog crawl was averaged between Remy and I, and it was a 5.8, which would put it in a David Marks. I'm not going to lie. In my own personal Rate Your Music, I put it a flat 6.0.
No.
Because here's the thing. I look at the 12 songs on this album, and I have 6 of them as, not bad. Not bad. And including a few that I actually genuinely like. Now, was I maybe being a little generous, knowing what is coming up? Sure. I think a David Marks feels fine to me. But if somebody said, you know what? This is a Bruce Johnston, I am not violently opposed to that. I would not spit in their face if they said, yeah, this is a solid Bruce Johnston.
Okay, if we're laying all of the album rankings on magnets on the refrigerator, after we get to the very end, I might move these around a little bit.
Yeah, and that's context that I have that you guys don't, because I've gone through the whole thing.
Yeah.
So, for now, it's a Wilson Phillips. Please tell me it doesn't get that much worse than this.
Yeah.
It does.
I'll give it a Wilson Phillips, too, because I wanted to give it a David because it's like right down the middle, but I feel a little bit like it's not quite... This is on the
underside of what we've heard the Beach Boys are capable of up to now.
I'll give it a Wilson Phillips. Even though, I mean... Hold on for one more day. That's a banger. Like I like Wilson Phillips more than I like this album, probably.
Yeah. Well, I could get behind that.
Anyway.
All right. Well, let's take take one last break here.
Sad trombone.
All right. We'll be right back. right. That didn't exactly spring us back into high energy, did it?
The hero,
M.I.U. album.
The hero of this episode is Matt's air conditioning. Thank you.
And the great state of Iowa.
And the great state of Iowa.
I am psyched.
It's nice
I'm
and
looking
cool.
forward to our Iowa trip.
We're gonna go. We're gonna go road trip.
Palm
to
trees,
Iowa.
beaches,
Check out all their record stores. We're gonna do a record
transcendental
store crawl.
meditation.
I think the White House is there.
Do some levitating.
Yeah, there's like a
Levitate.
They're really into tennis.
Johnson Space Center, I think, is there. They've got
good.
the Grand Canyon.
Right.
All kinds of cool shit
Yeah.
in Iowa.
Yeah, I can't believe I haven't been yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, we're gonna take a break for a few weeks while we're on our extravaganza throughout Iowa.
Through Iowa. Yeah.
We'll be back at some point. Discussing L.A.
Ooh.
I guess we're going
Los
to
Angeles?
We're going to L.A. after.
We're going to L.A. and Iowa.
After Iowa, yeah. L.A.
You mean
is
like
in
Louisiana?
No,
like the
the-
2-digit.
No, I'm talking, of course, about the Light album.
Oh, I get it.
All right.
It's the one that
Right, yeah,
they wrote
it's
while they
coming.
were in India,
coming.
hanging out with Paul McCartney.
In Los Angeles?
Yeah,
Oh,
something.
okay. Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, we'll get there.
Go have a croissant.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right.
Au revoir? Is there-
Now that we've offended almost
Au
all
revoir.
yeah, everybody.
Adieu.
All right. Goodbye.
Bye. Later.